Hi, Sami.
Morning. Oh, I gotta put my shirt on. It's not even Christmas. No one commented on the fact that I had Christmas last week.
I didn't even
Yeah,
notice that you have Christmas, and
I have
that was
Cowboys.
hilarious to me.
It's Cowboys today. But okay, I have to get better. We have to do our intro. So
Oh,
you have to
okay.
start us off.
Oh, wow. This doesn't feel contrived at all now. Welcome to AI for Anyone Live, this weekly live session that makes AI practical for busy nonprofit professionals in less than an hour. I'm Tim Lockie, CEO of The Human Stack, where we make tech more human.
And I'm Sami Zoss, and yes, I am trying to force us to be better about more
Good for you.
Coordinated intros.
So
you will hear this, but it's for the people who aren't joining us live. It's for the people that join us elsewhere. So it's the day before Thanksgiving. You're tired. I'm tired. I think I yawned like 4 times on our deal before this, Tim. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but all I'm dreaming of, at least those of us here in the States, is like that bowl of mashed potatoes and the annual family game of charades. But we've also got, 400 emails to send, not spend. And, you're sitting here wondering, like, how can I use AI to write thank you notes that also don't sound like robots, right? Like, how do I use robots to write something that doesn't sound like robots? So it's difficult.
I think that we should start a practice where we give out an award for people that are coming every week to AI for Anyone Live. And that first one would go to Megan Walsh, who again is right here in the morning. Megan, thank you so much. I don't think you could possibly know how much it means to just have you hop in here every day or every week. So, you found your thing again. You found your BB.
I did.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway, Megan, thank you so much. Really glad to see you back. And Dan Kershaw is somewhere in the Atlantic right now, so I don't think we're going to see him. But it's really fun to have some regulars. So thanks, Megan, for showing up. Yeah.
So nice. And so it makes it like more fun for us, to be completely honest. And I know it's not about you and I having like the best time ever or not, but it
isn't. I definitely think that is part of it.
Deliverable so much easier for us to do, right? Because I'm like, I know Megan's gonna love this. Like,
right.
Speaking of, though, what we're gonna do today, with it being gratitude season, and we're talking about how to make stewardship more human, like we do in everything human stack. How do we make tech more human? And so we're trying to tackle the biggest question in donor relations: can AI enhance appreciation without losing the human touch? So we're going to show you how artificial intelligence can make your thank yous more personal than anything handwritten, which I will say I loved using. I use AI to figure out how I can make some of my handwritten notes like stand out. So like, even if you're not mail merging and like printing, this is still an awesome practice for that. So
absolutely. Also, we're going to give a shout out to William.
Oh,
William, so glad to have you join us. First time. That's great.
William.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Here you go, William.
Welcome to the show. I hate writing cards. Let me just say it this way. I don't know.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if other people have this thing about writing. But it is like recommendations for LinkedIn or a personal note, just like a personal thank you note. Now, I think I have really strong interpersonal skills. There are really strong communication skills. But no, I know. Like I'm equally braggy about the stuff I don't do well. So yeah. But there is, in all ADD people, there is a break between how we think and talk and instantly communicate, and that piece that makes it really alive for us breaks when we try and get it on to paper or type it out. And I feel like one really important way to understand this is that this is adaptive technology for people like me who just can't get that sync to work, right? And I'm saying that because so many people that I listen to when I'm doing trainings ask the question, is this cheating? Fair question, but I don't think so.
Get out of that language, though.
I don't mind I think that the response, I think that it'll be good when we get out of that language, but it makes sense. It does feel like cheating. If you're like, I think probably like you and me, it feels like we finally have a solution to something that has been an albatross around our necks for something that we deal with that nobody else deals with. It's like a neurotypical privilege that people don't know they have, which is fine, right? That's what privilege is. Anyway, I feel like this is such a good way of getting at that because
I apologize. You're seeing my face the way it is because I've never heard the phrase albatross around my neck. And I
really,
it.
It is from the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, which is an old-timey poem, and sometime you should go read it. I don't know why I remember
to wear
this.
a dead albatross, which
Yes,
I'm pretty sure is a bird around his neck for as punishment for killing it, leading to his misfortune.
Yes, so everybody dies, right?
What the hell?
Yeah, everybody dies, and they blame it. They blame it on this guy and the albatross.
Oh
I don't know why I remember this, but there's a line in the poem. It's a great poem, but it's called "The Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner." Water all around, but not a drop to drink. Now I can't remember it. It was right there. I always remember it, but now when I'm supposed to say it. Anyway, it is a very fun poem. I feel like we should go and throw that thing in 11 Labs and have it read it for us, because that would be really cool. Anyway, Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, there you go.
My mind went to, we need to throw that into Google's VO and see what video it pops up.
Oh my gosh.
We have different clicks there.
No. We should do both. That would be very fun. Maybe. Okay, but the point of it is that an albatross is a sign of good luck. A man shoots it, so his crewmates make him wear it. And that's really funny. That's the second. Lori. Hi, Lori. So I think it's a way where a sign of good luck is now turned into a punishment, and then everybody dies, right? Yeah.
I just looked over, so I often have the LinkedIn Live on another screen so I can see if something goes wrong. And I saw my face go, and I'm mortified. So here we go.
That's good. That's good. We'll make sure that we use that clip as like the front page.
Please do.
It's
I
awesome.
Love it so much.
Okay. Right. If you have heard of the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner and you already know what the albatross means, tell us. I'm very curious. Who knows that? Who doesn't know that? I'm very proud of myself for knowing something about literature. I don't know if we can.
And if you're willing,
call that literature,
tell me what like generation you are, because tell me if it makes sense.
Yeah. Wait, so you didn't have to read the Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner? Sorry, I
never heard of it.
Stuck on this. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Now,
all right. Megan's bringing us back.
Right.
Said, on the issue of sounding human, I'm finally writing a voice blueprint so I can stop all the darn coaching every time I use AI.
Ooh, that's great. Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to me.
Oh, what that is about is getting an AI that sounds like you. Because if you don't have an AI that sounds like you, then you have to coach it on how to sound like you every time.
Got it.
Megan, am I right about that? Do I have that right?
I mean, knowing Megan, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. That tracks.
And
that's funny.
Yeah. You're a birder? Megan, I should have known you're a birder. Of course you are.
That's so
yeah. Great.
All right, let's get into it. So today, Lori, 80s baby. Sorry, Lori. I don't know you, so I can't make fun of you for being old. I make fun of Tim for being old all of the time, which was really what that joke was about. So you're the best.
Also, I've got to shout out that Lori this week launched a really cool thing about it's a cartoon about nonprofit absurdity. So, Lori, if you throw that in the link, we would love to let people know about that. So,
I was like, I just clicked on your page, but send it on to put it on the link, and we'll pull it up. We'll take a little ad break, and we'll put you up as as an ad for the day.
That'd be great. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. So today, I do really want to go over I've got a couple examples, but I want to do some of it live like we always do to see, because that's the wonderful thing about AI is, generally speaking, you shouldn't get the same thing twice if you're just out in the open kind of using it. And so I'm excited to see what I'm going to show you sort of a version of what I did when AI first came out and how awesome that was compared to what it can do now, and how more awesome it is now, and how in just, we'll spend about 20 minutes on this today. And in just 20 minutes, like we'll be able to take our thank you notes from mail merge and not more formula to how to still make it scalable. So how do you still use mail merge to your benefit, but also highlighting the different sort of like things between each donor and their relationship to the organization. And today I'm trying really hard not to differentiate between price points or donation levels to the organization, because I want to show that with the advances that we've had in AI this year, you don't have to scale that back as much anymore. It can really handle, especially Gemini can handle a massive context window. And
sorry,
we
wait,
need like a little like
context window is not going to answer that question for me. What are so context window just means that it can think more about more things before it has to like do a memory reload, right? What did we have to do before in fundraising that we can now do differently? Like what's the link between that and context window?
Well, so for and maybe context window needs to be, and that's actually what I was getting at, is I need a little
Sorry, I
like
probably interrupted you right at the
theme.
wrong time.
It's cool. Just mansplaining.
Okay.
It's whatever. I was like, this man's literally going down the exact same hole I was just going to. But I was saying I need a little like I need another one of these. But like when we like go through and explain like random AI terms that at least 50% of our population aren't going to understand it. So I am going to figure that one out, because it's completely fair when we say context window to not know exactly what we're referencing. When I'm referencing context window here in particular, what I'm saying is this is all the stuff it can handle before it says like, hey, I can't actually process that much information. And so beforehand, you really had to know exactly how you wanted to phrase, the progress that you've made in your organization this year, the impact that donor specifically had on your organization, the impact that program had, not only on your organization, but how in the world it was able to do more because of this donor supporting this program. How are you serving our mission, et cetera. And while those things are still happening, I think it's really important to note that we're able to do that at a scale that we just haven't seen before. I can input information that I specifically want called out in my donor reports, but I know that Tim Lockie prefers to hear more about the human impact and how we've made things more human, less tech. But I know that Sami Zoss wants to see how many kids got to go through this program this year. And so that those notes that you're taking on your donors, even in the one you see us today, we do it in a spreadsheet, right? Like, God forbid you have an awesome CRM that has much more poignant, like contact points, information. Tim's got a dog, or Tim's wife loves to do Rover. And so if we've got anything that has to do with Rover, we make sure that there's a special call out for Jenny saying like how awesome it is that like, this group chose to do something around dogs. Like it just allows the AI to help you scale some of that. And in a way that your fundraisers now can be much greater arbiters of the actual message being delivered specific to their donor without it needing to still be a one-to-one deal. So you have sort of like as a person who came from the ops side, particularly in a foundation where most of the organization purpose was around fundraising, there was a lot of contention between ops and fundraising, because I'm trying to get things out, and I'm trying to get things out in a way that is uniform, in a way that, represents us appropriately and is sort of like signed off by the CEO. And the fundraisers, to their absolute credit, are trying to say like, but you don't understand, Tim's not going to like that. He's going to see through the bullshit of a mail merged letter. And so there's this awful, but they also don't have the time to send out the specific, because they're focused on the higher end of their pipeline. This allows us to be like, ¿por qué no los dos, right? Like, let's make sure that the mail merged version is as personalized as we can get it. Like, why are we collecting data on our people if we're not going to use it to our and their benefit? And then the fundraisers get to take that and go one step above, right? Like they could call. My hope is that we have a little time at the end to play with what new Nano Banana Pro and VO have to say. Like there's some of that like you can amp it up. We're just looking at how do I get letters out in mass that don't feel robotic, We can do that now in a way that we just never could. It's dope.
I don't want to be mansplaining here, but I do feel like I understand what you're meaning, and it's different than what I thought before. So can I take a stab at that?
Please do.
In the past, what we were doing was we were taking small bits of information and creating merge fields with them, right? So we would have something like this. This person wants to receive these 3 kinds of emails from us, but not these 2 other kinds of emails, right? So there's communication preferences, and those were checkboxes around different groups of emails. Then there were interests that we would keep track of. Donors like this kind, they are passionate about this this type of program that we're doing, or this interest area, or this cause, right? And then there was the amount that they've donated and how consistently they've donated. And we would take those little bits of one-off pieces of information, and we would merge those into one document that was the same for everybody, except that it would do a little bit with those merge fields. You're talking about an approach that basically says, instead of communication preferences being which kind of email or which email they want to receive, you're talking about writing a completely different email for each person based on a profile, or based on an agent basically saying, this is what this person cares about. Here's all the data, throw it together in something that's going to be relevant to them.
Yeah.
Is that right?
And it doesn't even have to be like, it doesn't even have to be about pulling from a specific field, right? Because like I've said, that context window has expanded.
Yeah.
So I can say, consider the entire profile of Tim Lockie. So that's where like notes about Jenny come in, because I'm not writing necessarily on your profile this, but I might be on Jenny's.
Yep.
And I'm considering the whole of this. Or I've got our, like with our Impact Me Foundation, the fake foundation that we use for AI4AnyoneLIVE here, you know, we've got a couple different programs. We've really only talked about the human first program, where it's like an AI ethics and learning program with different organizations and company profiles. Yep. But I've got board reports that we've built on that through these episodes. And so like I've got information that highlights how awesome this program is. So now it's going to take, what does Tim just like seemed to vibe with, right? Like at its core, if I'm not giving you technical explanation, it is literally like, what does Tim seem to vibe with? How do I take the information I have on the organization and make it relevant to what he vibes with?
Yep. Okay.
It's so fun.
I think that it would be hard, because we use personalization already. I think it'd be hard for people to like realize what a massive paradigm shift this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, okay, great. I now understand what we're talking about. Cannot wait. And so let's go. I think this is gonna be great.
Let's do it. I'm gonna actually jump us into. I am getting some notes about my internet being weird. So if
while you figure that out, I'm gonna tell everybody about the nonprofit font Comic Sans Impact, and I'm gonna that is Lori's cartoon comic that she launched this week.
Hold on that really quick.
Oh, okay.
Only because Lori, I did send you a message. So if you're listening, check your LinkedIn messages, because I did send her a message, and I might have something to show with that.
Oh, okay. All right. There's a QR code in that, by the way.
Oh, perfect. I just wanted you to note that my internet was being weird. In case it does go down, you have all of the background materials.
Okay, good. Cool. Great.
You do know where that is. So, awesome. Okay, I'm going to start in our Impact Me Foundation drive, because I want to show people how simple this can be. Right. So I'm here in the drive. You've got like, these are all things that we've just created this year from our 33 episodes now, which is crazy to say.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So, you know, here's information on the program. We've got our donor tracking spreadsheet. I'm going to actually make sure we get that opened up. And then I'm going to start, this is my template one that you saw. So I'm going to actually start a brand new one, because I want you guys to see how absolutely easy this is. So I'm going to do 2025 end of year thank yous. And then we're going to start by sort of like how, right now, I don't think people are not using AI at all. I think we're past that in some ways, but I want to show how to enhance it like we've talked about. So we got Gemini over here on the side, and I'm just going to say, can you create a mergeable thank you note for our year-end gratitude mailer? And then I'm going to add from the drive. I starred a bunch of this stuff so I could find it just for what it's worth. Our donor information spreadsheet. I'm going to say use the donor information spreadsheet for what is it? Merge fields to reference. Okay. So what that's doing is sort of just taking, and this is a very okay approach, right? One thing I've noticed with Gemini, so this freaked me out the first couple times I saw it. I thought it was cutting it off. For whatever reason, when you've got it in this code interface, it doesn't show all of it. But when I hit insert, which I just did, this little button right here, let me zoom in. This button right here, I hit insert and it pulled it all over here. So here is a mergeable thank you note template. I'm going to read it out loud if that's okay, because this is the first time I'm seeing it too, right? So dear donor name, as 2025 comes to a close, we at the Impact Me Foundation want to express our deepest gratitude for your incredible generosity and support. Your gift of amount made on date is already making tangible difference in our work to support the program, the designation. If it's a recurring gift, because of your commitment as a recurring donor, we can count on a steady foundation of support that helps us plan for the future and sustain our initiatives all year long. Thank you for your continued trust. Your generous one-time contribution is an immense help to our mission. It allows us to seize opportunities and meet critical needs as they arise. And then it's got something, if it is in honor or memory of, we're especially touched by your decision to make this donation in honor or memory of. What a wonderful way to celebrate their legacy.
Can you zoom in on that? I actually, I've got it on my large screen and I still can't see it. So I'm worried that other people can't too.
Oh, yep.
And what is
also
this?
some of the reason I'm reading it.
Yeah, that's fine. If you close, by the way, if you close the tabs on that, the tab side, then it'll look larger. But what is this thing called? This code block that you have right now? What's the title of that?
I think it's just a code block. I don't know why it comes through in code either, to be completely honest.
Okay.
Do you?
I'm waiting for there's a lag between what you present and what shows in LinkedIn, which is where I can see it large. So but you know what? Hold on one second. I'm not thinking about this right. Okay, can you scroll up to the top and then I can tell you what I think that is.
I mean, it is in fact a code block.
This is your template, right?
Yes.
So this is like a code block of your template. And oh my gosh, this is really cool. Right.
There's the delay.
No, I couldn't. I just really literally couldn't see it.
That's too funny.
It's almost, I mean, I don't know what the language is for this, but personalization is not going to work because we already have, that's already a packaged idea that makes too much sense to us already, right? Yep. So I don't know if we could repurpose that idea. It is more like this is contextualization. I don't know. There's probably a better way to describe it, but essentially what we're doing is we're recontexting this into a communication that is contextually specific to a person, right?
Yes.
Not just field level, but actual
correct
communication level.
And to that point, Tim, one of the things that I am trying to do today is show not the most convoluted way to write a hyper-personalized individual letter by letter, right? So I'm still trying to figure out, essentially, how do we hack the merge field approach to still feel hyper-contextualized to that person? And that's sort of where I want to get us today, because I could show us 8 million other ways, right? You could ask this to write a letter by individual each time. That's not an issue. The bigger issue is, how do we get it to write hyper-personal? How do we get it to generate in another merge field is what we're going to do, to say, okay, what is relevant about Tim's year and what is relevant about the org to Tim. And then we use that in our merge. I'm not saying that is my ideal scenario, but it is a hell of an improvement over last year where this is great. but this is the max amount of personalization I could do was via merge field. Now I can use generative fields and then merge them in, so that merge is much more hyper contextualized to that person. Right? Like there's a whole nother step where it's like literally generate a brand new letter per person, but that's not realistic for 90% of our listeners. They need to see what's useful for them at scale, but still hyper personalized. And this is sort of like the in-between approach of how you can do it, and quickly. Like this, we're already here and it's taken us 10 minutes, you know?
Yep.
Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. I feel like I need to diagram some of this out from my own brain to really understand like what the high level is. But if you think of it as like a road, and what we used to have was one or two fields, and there was a very small amount, like the percent of letter that was different per person was like 5% maybe, because it was just a few fields. What you're talking about is reversing that, where the percent that's different is like 50% of the document is different per person, right? And you're pointing to a future where the more we know about people and the more we care about communicating to them at ways that they understand, the more we are increasing the percent of difference to each person, right? That's kind of the formula that you're running down. And you're moving it from 1 or 2 fields or 5 to 8 fields up. You're just running it from that to maybe a 4x, where it's like over 30% is different now. And you're combining, I love this about you, you're combining the operational side with the vision side with the future side. I love it. It's great. Cool. Okay. I've got 9 ways to think about how to do this, and I'm really curious about how you're thinking about it. But this is such a relevant thing to do. I cannot wait. Okay, let's do it.
It's so fun. I mean, and I do want to like pause for just a second and like underscore something that you'd said, but as someone who was practicing in this not even a year ago, I really want to highlight like the way this is more human and not less is because it matters then what I'm putting into, like what I'm paying attention to about my donors. I'm no longer caring just about the dollars that they give me or the programs that they like support, the events they show up to. It's not just about essentially those quantitative numbers. There is so much more emphasis on qualitative approach to what we do and how, if that is accurate, if we are paying attention to them as people, we will be able to output in mass personalized information because we have cared about what they do. So that's what I wanted to say.
Community-centric fundraising got started because what they said is we want to be centered around the communities that we're serving, right? And what I really like about that is that it is a statement that we need to be audience-centric, not self-centric, right? Yes. I want to keep using the word audience instead of donors, because communication, every organization has at least 3 audiences they need to be thinking about all the time. And this applies to every single one, which is their internal staff, the participants that they are helping, and the donors that are supporting them or whoever's funding that, right? Those 3 audiences, what you're talking about is being more concerned about creating authentic, real messaging for each audience, for each person in each audience, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm on board. I get it.
How fun, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I am going to take a quick pause because I do want to invite up Miss Lori. Everybody say hi to Lori.
Hi, Lori. So good to see you.
This is like my favorite thing that I'm able to just like figure out mid.
How are you doing that stuff? I am so impressed. I love that you're doing that.
Tim, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about your relationship with Lori, who she is, and yeah, tell us a little bit about your relationship
Lori
with Lori
and I met each
let her say hi.
Lori and I met each other at AFPICon in Toronto a couple years ago. We had an event. It was the same event that I met Dan Kershaw in person too. So it was very fun. We went to a bocce ball court that Tasha Van Vleck set up, and a lot of the people that are, hivers and human stackers all came, and we just had this party together. And I met Lori, and Lori talked at 2,000 miles an hour about the work that she was doing. It was incredible, super compelling, really fun. And so we stayed in touch. And then last year when we were in Seattle for Icon, caught up again. Lori has been just working on all of these cool things. I was showing her what I'm doing with AI. We spent a little bit of time doing some work together on how to direct some of that. And then out of the blue, she just started this amazing Comic Sans Impact. So that is how I know Lori. Great to see you again.
Yes, I know. Yes, that is the story. But I always,
So nice
you know
to
what?
have you, Lori.
When I think of AFP Icon, the Toronto, I think of Tim. Like,
Nice. We'll take that.
Thank you. Oh,
We love
that's
it. We love to
amazing.
hear
Thank
it.
you. Yeah.
So Lori, tell me, I am like many of our users right now. I don't have a lot of context on you and on Comic Sans Impact. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here and what people can, what are they going to find when they scan this QR code?
Okay. So the short story long, I started in nonprofit like 20 years ago, so 2004, like in events, and I've done everything, like, you know, small nonprofits. You wear all the hats. You are the only person in the development, and I love the sector, like love the sector. But I also knew I couldn't be in the sector on the front line the entire time. So I have my own company. We do with a lot of matching and corporate partnerships. But this, like the comic though, has been something that has been brewing for a little while. And it just like, I don't know, there was something that got activated at AFP Icon like last. And I came home being like, okay, it's got to be this. And it was actually this whole idea. This is the first one. And it talks about how, you know, we're all everyone in the nonprofit sector, right? Everyone. So like the organizations, the funders, like everyone in the sector is doing so much work to like make something go, but we aren't asking ourselves, you know, maybe this wasn't actually supposed to move the way that we want it to be, right? Like we're doing such a good job of trying to make, and so that was the whole thing. It was like, well, it is a bike, but it's like there's something wrong with it, but we're doing our best to move this thing, right? And so, and then of course, like ideas were popping, and all of a sudden it was like, okay, by next Icon, I want this. Like, and I've got so many ideas, and there's so many people out there who like have something to say about all these different things about the nonprofit sector. And it's not just for people in the nonprofit sector. Like the whole vision of it is for someone who's outside of the sector to kind of understand some of the things that are happening in the sector. So there's some things kind of coming up around like how donors view things, and just different ways that we can illustrate that. And I absolutely love like the whole comic idea, because it's like, okay, well, how do we get someone to understand this with some humor, a different perspective, and in a way that's like thought-provoking, and we can share it, right? So this was born.
This is so fun. Okay, you guys are gonna see behind the curtain here for just a second, because I am going to show you the screen share, which means you'll also see that I am logged into Tim's
I got you
on this side. But this is so cool. I also, can I just say, in a world where everyone is so terrified of AI taking their jobs, in particular with the massive improvements in particularly like Gemini's Nano Banana Pro and VO, I love that there is a human artist behind this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so cool, because you could have totally went the route of AI generated and that would have been fine, right? But this is like, this makes it more meaningful somehow. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit opposite of like some of the stuff that we talk about, but
no,
that's what I do, right?
I had that thought because, you know, like I'm running things in like AI programs, and it's trying to come up with stuff, but like it wasn't right. And when I saw the artist and his work, I was like, that's it. That is it. And you should see the sketches. I'm actually starting an Instagram account to kind of do the behind the scenes, so like the behind and put like the
human. That's cool. Like building in public. So
I literally give him like a text and then my scribbles in my notebook, and I take a picture of it, and I was like, Stickman, I'm drawing Stickman, just so you know. And like
amazing.
I love that so much.
And he makes
That
it happen.
is amazing.
This is so good.
All right,
Well,
Lori, if
thank
people
you
want to
so much
follow
for hopping
you,
on.
if people
Go
want to
ahead.
follow you and what you're doing, is the link that we put out there, is that the right one? Or do you want to give us another one and we can have everybody like get in contact, follow you, see where it's going to be, all the things?
Well, if they go to that one that has
Yep.
most of the comics on there, and they can follow me from there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Great. It is so good to see you again.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much,
hopping on.
Lori. Wonderful to meet you. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Bye. I thought you'd appreciate that, Tim.
I love it when you pull people on. It's great. I love that.
It's like my favorite thing. I definitely think when I do that, I probably should tell you we should just extend this to the full 60 minutes so I don't constantly run us tight. But if that's the reason, is because we're pulling more humans into the conversation as it feels relevant and necessary, like why not?
It's great. Yeah.
So, okay, I do have some updates for us on what we were just chatting about. So let's go back to our end of year thank yous. I'm using this. This would be also where I would put like our little like beep-a-doop-a-doo note to remind everyone of sort of like a phrasing. And Tim, if you're following along, because I know so you guys, when Tim's talking about how his screen's too small, it's because he has a specific like camera-esque screen. So he has to follow along somewhere else.
Yes.
And so Tim, I did put in the chat the link to this one as well, the new one that we just created, so you could follow along without being delayed on the LinkedIn.
Yeah, that is perfect. Thanks.
So this is the next prompt I want to run, and I want to talk it through before I hit go on it. But if you're wondering how to create a more structured prompt without feeling like you need this like big enhanced version, I will often type out my thoughts and then say, put this into a RICE prompt, which a RICE prompt is role, instructions, context, and then examples. That is like if you're trying to get a little more structure to what you want without making it so big and feeling like a little over your head, which sometimes I just want to see what's going to happen. That's how I'll do it, where I'm like, I know I need it to do a specific action, so I need a little bit more structure behind it. But I also don't want to have to spend hours on hours trying to figure out the right prompt here. Asking whatever AI you're using, like, hey, here's what I want to accomplish. Help me create a RICE prompt is almost always like my first step. So I just wanted to talk people through that. So what we're doing with this one, the role here, and I'm not going to read all of it, but the role here is a highly detail-oriented, empathetic donor relations data specialist for the Impact Me Foundation. The task is to analyze raw donor engagement data and organizational progress reports to synthesize personal text outputs for a mass mail merge. So what I'm asking it to do is basically take add two additional fields to what I already have in my donor spreadsheet. One is going to be like I'll show you what the examples are going to look like, right? So we're going to have a cumulative donor impact text, personalized org progress summary, and then I love that it added this like personalized next step suggestion. So it's a specific call to action to the donor based on, in this case, it is donors based on the actual qualitative data it has on this donor. So given your passion for youth, would you be interested in volunteering for 2 hours? As a supporter of tech, consider sharing our social media post. Like, how awesome to ask your donors to stand up for your org in ways that feel specific and personal to them. And it's not just, please give more.
Yeah.
Which this would make me feel so seen as an individual. Like, how awesome. So I am literally going to highlight this whole thing. I'm going to go back into our round one here. The zoom in's kind of making it a little wonky here. So I'm going to enter that, right? So I literally just copied and pasted that whole prompt.
Yep.
I'm going to add from the drive a bunch of different documents that are relevant to my organization. So a board report on one of our programs, the summary on our AI learning and ethics program. I'm going to put a lot in that because that's where like most of our quote donors are. Our organization goals and metrics, the company profiles for our programs, the donor information sheet's already in there, but our grant tracking sheet, our brand, our foundation org chart, our non-negotiables as an organization, and then program participant data. So there's 14 different documents that I'm adding in here to kind of just add context. And this is what we mean when we say like context window. It can actually take and churn a lot of this stuff. So I'm asking it to take all that information and output to me. And I'm going to actually put this in a new tab. So this is round 2. And while that's loading, Tim, I mean, what are your initial thoughts on this prompt, how we're trying to approach it? Just sort of like, I always love to hear yours as we see like what's next, right? So like what's next is going to be additional merge fields. So you can see them here is going to be, all right, now I need to add those fields to my donor information spreadsheet and generate an updated thank you letter. What questions, thoughts come to mind from there, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, one of my big questions is when you've got in the side, when you open up the side, not the
tabs,
Gemini side, but the tabs. Thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Help me get a handle on what those 3 are, right?
Ooh, yeah. No,
Oh, wait, I'm looking at something different than you are. I thought I was looking at thank you letters. So I'm looking at a different
You're looking at the old one.
Oh, okay.
You're looking at the one I prepped in case everything went.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Can you share this one with me?
Yes, it's in that chat. I already did.
Oh, okay. Good. Thanks. All right. One of the okay, I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now, which is this is going to take a minute, but I think it's important to understand the journey a lot of us are going to be on is how do we go from doing this one off the right way to doing this multiple times the right way, repeatable, to doing this in a way that we can just manage if it's working well, to it is working and all we're managing is the inputs and we have eyes on the outputs, right? This is that first step right here where we are saying, how do we create a one-off output that is exactly the way we want, right? Does that make sense?
Yep. Absolutely.
So after this is working, which I have no doubts this is going to produce something good, but we're going to want to tweak it 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah.
When we're done with that, is there any reason that we couldn't take the documents that you've got and the instructions right here, the rice format, and put that into a gem and then run that gem against, like run each one of these as a separate document and run that gem against that document? Is there any reason that wouldn't work?
So you're saying take the instructions that I've generated and put them into a repeatable format through a gem.
Well, the instructions and the files, because you have to look up these files every time, right?
Yeah.
So you can.
I would argue though the files should change.
Oh, okay.
Because you should want them to be contextually relevant as well. So right now we're doing things that are relevant to end of year. So we're, big org updates, things like that. But
okay, let me ask it this way. Would it change per person or would it change per month if you were doing this monthly?
It would change per communication tandem. So I see it as like per month because
thank you.
I say communication tandem because I'm thinking, again, my background being in education, in higher ed.
Yeah.
If I had a big news break from my school, our president is leaving, I could use this framework to adjust the way that's framed to every person.
Right.
And so you need that context to be relevant to the reason in which you're communicating. And then it gets to be a lot easier.
Yep. That just means that every time, yes. But if you created a gem each time for each tandem with those files in it, you don't have to do that per person. You could just create a gem really quickly. My whole goal in life is to think about something well one time so that I don't, because I have to do it again, I'll forget all of it, right? And so a gem would accomplish that after you've got it working the right way, right? Again, the first step is making sure that it's working the way you want it to, but then you could put it into a gem and then run the gem against a document. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Absolutely.
I love this.
And I don't know if you're seeing this, but I actually was sort of in live. I pivoted a little.
Oh, okay, cool. Great.
Not completely, but I was like, well, what would the process be like to put this then in a merge file, right? I don't love the limitations it seems we're having. So right now I'm on our donor information spreadsheet, and I pulled over the output, right? Because it gave me an awesome output for every donor. And I was just like, hey, can you insert all of this? Right? It's not doing what I would want here. It's doing it sort of like one by one, but it is actually inputting it. If we had more time, I would show everyone how to do like, use this to make a formula that would inform from another tab. So I would just copy it all into another tab. Due to limitations on our time, I'm not going to stress too much about doing that right now. But I want people to know that like there are ways to then make this an easier process to that too. You don't have to make new ones every time. You can add to the data that you currently have, or at least in one mass spreadsheet. So you don't have to pull it over from a Word doc and a spreadsheet and a this and a that. Remembering sort of like where we are today is not where we're going to get. And that can even be in the process of literally just getting it into the merge file itself. You can use AI to help you with that piece. So here we are. We've got, let's look at Dana Jackson, right? Or well, I'm going to look at the ones that are actually in here because we can kind of see. Alice Smith, she's given us $500 in the AI for Nonprofits initiative. She donates through her corporation, the Bernard Group. So cumulative donor impact text. Your one gift of $500 this year has directly supported 5 participants in our AI for Nonprofits initiative programs. And then the personalized outreach didn't pull over. Love that. I'm going to look over here because that's confusing me. This year, the initiative launched 5 core workshops on digital confidence and ethical systems, helping partners increase their capability with AI tools. Our goal for 2025 is 100% ethical alignment for all active projects, ensuring technology is a tool for liberation. And then personalized next step suggestion, consider joining an upcoming lunch and learn session to share your professional experience and insights on ethical AI adoption with our team. That's wild. That's so awesome. So what I'm putting in here now is, now can you give me an updated merge file for this hyper-personalized / genuine approach and show me an example? So like, can you show me the merge field, but then like show me a completed one? We'll see what it gets me there. But for me, this allows me, like, you can still hear it's not perfect. Like, I hate the language of your one gift of this or your recurring gift of this, but it's also pulling, like, I could give it more context or more direction to say, hey, I think it needs to have more personalized language here. Here's some examples of how I would phrase that differently, etc.
Yep.
That's sort of the approach that I would suggest you sort of give it there. Interesting. So it did not respond in the way that I thought it would. It says, right? So it's got, here's the updated section of your merge file with the new columns, as well as a complete, an example of a complete merge thank you note. So it didn't actually get me a new template. It's just getting me a new, like, table, which isn't the worst thing. But if you have hundreds,
I've got an idea. Can you try something? I want to try something.
Sure. Okay. It did give me an example, though, for what that's worth. Like, there is an example in here, so I'm going to put that in. Maybe. Go ahead. Talk to me.
So what we're trying to do is push this from a prompt into a spreadsheet. What I want to do is reverse that and go copy that one row of data, right? So go back to the spreadsheet, and we were looking at a donor in the spreadsheet, number 1, right? Just copy row 1.
Number 2.
Okay, row 2. Don't and just from not the generated stuff, but the other fields. So you're gonna go copy. Yep. Does that make sense?
Yep. I'm going to include the headers as well.
Yes. Good job. Include the headers on that, and pull that over, and then
I'm going to
drop that. Yeah, exactly.
Unlinked. Okay. Obviously messy, but we know we.
Okay. Actually, open up Gemini instead.
Love it.
Sorry. I was thinking the little sidebar.
We don't actually have Upskillerator after this, so the only thing stopping you and I is everybody getting annoyed with us.
Does that really stop us?
No.
Here, okay, let me try the overlay of what I'm thinking. If you go back to the original thing that you were looking at there, like the document, the Word document here, undo that so you're pulling it out.
Okay.
All right. Open up Gemini on the sidebar of this document.
Got it. I'm going to clear history.
Yes, clear history.
I remember how to do that. There we go.
Right.
Oh, I forgot to say this at the beginning. My dad starts listening. He drives truck and he's listening. Hi, Dad.
Oh, that's awesome.
He
Wait,
texted
what's your
me
dad's
hello
name?
after I said hi. Clint.
Hey, Clint.
After hours inappropriate story to tell you about. I was there when my parents got married. I can say it. I'm going to say it. Quick aside. So my dad's name is Clint, Clint.
Yeah.
And imagine 4-year-old Sami with like white gloves on, wearing a flower girl dress at mom and dad's wedding.
Awesome.
And
this is in South Dakota, right?
Yeah, South
Okay.
Dakota.
Yep.
The wedding dance was at a local bar. Like we made the food. Like it was the best type of wedding reception. And he's not gonna believe I'm telling the world this.
Sorry, Clint.
My
If
cousin
I
and I were
could
gonna
stop
do
this, I
cheer.
would, Clint. I'm just wanting you to know I'm on your side here.
He's gonna think it's hilarious. It's more embarrassing for me than it is for them. My mom's name's Esther.
Okay.
My dad's name's Clint. And I just realized how like olden times those names sound. Even if you met them, that's actually really funny. But I 4-year-old Sami's out here trying to do like a cheer for him, right? Like at the wedding reception, and everyone's paying attention to me because I'm 4 and I'm cute and my mom just got married and yada yada.
Right.
And my dad just adores me, right? Like I'm just the cute little center of attention for the day, in my opinion. And I start spelling out, give me a C. And I was going to spell Clint and Esther.
Oh, no.
I missed Tim.
Yeah.
I missed N in my dad's
gosh.
name. That's why I said it's an after hours inappropriate, but I'm not saying it out loud. And I don't mark our content as like made for kids. So I feel better about it. But fun fact, there's a little aside.
That is awesome.
Hi, Dad. Love you.
Clint.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I've cleared our stuff. Do you want me to clear the...
No, I want to say one more thing to Clint. You have done an amazing job. Sami is an amazing human being. Thank you.
Very loud.
The world is better because of that work. So I think it was very fun having Sami as a daughter, I'm guessing. So thanks for making the world better. All right. I'm doing something in the background, which is that I'm making a 2025 year-end gem.
Ooh, okay.
Right. And what I want to do, I just want to try this out, and I can't find all of the all of the things. Wait, what'd Lori say?
She just said the laughing emoji.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
yes.
Negan, I know. I'm sorry, you guys.
All right. Here's what I'm doing though. Okay, we've got this. Sami, I'm gonna
share your screen, or do you want me to?
No, that's fine. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna get this gem shared with you eventually.
Okay.
And
big love.
Then I want you to add all of the. I want you to add all of the documents that we should be adding. Actually, it'd be faster for you to just make a gem. Create a gem with the instructions that you just had and all of those files.
Cool. With these
with that template right there. Just grab all of that stuff.
This one.
Okay. Right. I don't know which one, but I'm sure
the rice one.
The rice one. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, okay. Exactly. Right.
So there's the instructions, knowledge. I'm going to add from Drive. And like we said, thankfully we've started all of this. Do you want me to add the donor information sheet?
No, that's the one thing you don't add yet.
So I'm going to add everything else.
At the bottom of that, at the bottom there, the fields that are going to be in the donor information sheet. Oh, we can only do 10? Okay, yeah, do 10.
You can do more if you're referencing them the way I was.
No, just do it this way. It's fine. Just grab 10 for now. We're just running an experiment anyway. I know. I can see it. It's going to be okay.
How many do I have? 8 grant tracking. That one. Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
All right.
Instructions are in there. Context is in there. What do you want me to
do? Save it.
Steward inator.
Well, no, wait, before you do that, you're going to make a new one of these every time you have a new communication. So this is going to be the 2025 year-end thank you.
Tim always names things innators.
I do. I do. I
Do
had
we
a
want to
prompt
use
that
Gemini
was
to rewrite
confused.
instructions? Because that's one that I've always, I
No.
mean, it always does good things, but I
No,
wasn't
no,
sure.
we don't in this case because your instructions have you've already done that one time, and those are very specific instructions. So, all right,
I'm
great.
going to put this in the
Yeah, share it with everybody. Throw it
chat
in
for
there.
people.
One thing that's going to be interesting about that is that it is not going to share the documents unless you make those like publicly available, which we can do because it's the Impact Me Foundation. Okay,
Yes.
all right. So now go grab that one line of data, right? So copy that, not the generated stuff, but just the original rows, and just drop that stuff. And you're right about the name of it as well, right? Drop that into the gem.
Okay. I'm going to start a chat. And just hit go.
Yep. Oh,
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, I'm really curious about this.
Oh, I have a thought. I can't wait. Okay, so because we asked for the output to be specific to that, that's probably why it's doing that.
But before you do anything with it, I just want to pause for a second and say, and we are going to go over. If you want to keep listening to us, that's fine.
We've been over, yeah.
I know, no, I'm loving what we're doing on this. So I feel
Me too.
If you're good with
and
it,
we
I'm good with
rarely
it.
get to keep going because we have another meeting after this, and today we don't.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, good, cool. All right, so here's what's really important to understand is that the faster you can iterate consistently, the better you'll get at working on this. So it is not about getting the right outputs. Actually, it's about getting the right inputs. What a gem actually does is it gives you one place to make a change so that you can track that change and you can see what it is. So you start asking yourself, what don't I like about this, right? And when you run out of things to say about what you don't like about this, then what you like is great. So, okay, let's edit the gem, and we're going to change the output so that it is a letter, right?
Oh. One second. Look at how cute it is. It shows, you have to move it so you can see it on your other screen.
Okay.
It's cute. First of all, I love that it gave me the little heart emoji. I just said, like, can you give me Alice's letter? Just to see, you know. And I just love, like, it gave us a little bit of formatting, you know, it's got a little call out for some of the areas, and I just think it's so fun.
Oh, that is very cool.
How sweet. I want to try something really quick. How can I update the instructions for this gem to output the letter 2 or only? I would say 2.
Only. No, because what you want is a copy paste.
That's what you want.
Well, okay, so it is not aware of its own instructions. So what I would do is that same thing, but I would drop the instructions in it. No, it's not. It doesn't.
Pulling stuff I didn't give it.
Okay, I should change that.
Tim's like, I don't want to sound mean. How do I phrase this differently?
A little bit. It isn't specifically aware of its instructions because in this context, what it's trying to do is execute those instructions, not understand the instructions, right? It's the difference between like, you know, thinking inside the box versus thinking outside the box versus in this case, we're trying to get it to think about the box, and it can't do that unless we tell it what the box looks like. I don't know if that tracked at all. So, well, wait, before you do that, I was going to say one other thing. We need the context of what we gave it, what it gave us, and then the instructions. Those 3 pieces.
Yeah.
So we need to
Tim's teaching you all is eval. He's being sneaky about it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that is partly true. But so what I mean is you got to go back to the original. Yep. This one right here.
Yep.
And then throw the instructions at the bottom and say, how should I change these instructions so that I get an output that is just the letter?
Yes.
Okay.
I did that. I also did that in so many moons ago, we had an episode where we created the nonprofit Geminator, which is literally created to make nonprofit gems. So that's what I had just put in there.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I was like, we might as well do them next to each other. So this your end of year Inator said to update your instructions to output the full personalized letter instead of 3 separate fields, you need to consolidate the output generation step, and specify the required format. Here's the updated instructions. So
perfect.
I want to take this really quick and say with our, so here's the Geminator. I did the same thing. I want to update these instructions to output the letter, not the fields.
Okay, wait, you've got to make one change before you do that. At the bottom there, it says fast, and you need to say thinking.
Oh, okay. There, you need the little like beep, 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 and tell us why.
Because because you need it to be more thoughtful about this. And what it is also doing is it is trying to take a long prompt and make it as short as possible so that it's efficient. It's making the assumption that you don't know what you're talking about and that it can do better with a small prompt. So you need to tell it, I need all of the previous, and I need you to not flatten it, but keep the length and actually write the details in it. There's better ways to describe that, but that's what we're doing. Okay, good.
I got that.
Did it update those?
It's updating in this one, and then I started a new conversation in the Geminator because I didn't want to confuse it, to be completely honest.
Good. Great.
So here's what I want to do next.
Man,
is I'm gonna actually take your
updated. I forgot about that. It's such a great thing.
Fun.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the updated prompt from the end of year Inator.
Yep, right.
And I'm going to input it into the Geminator and say, how does that so you guys are literally seeing how, like, this is how we think. This is how we play.
Yeah, totally.
Like, okay, so how does that compare to this instruction set? And I'm going to put it back to thinking. If I really wanted to get super deep in this, which I'm not going to do because I want to make sure it's a little higher level, I would ask it to give me like very specific ways to improve, why this is better, why this isn't. I want to see what it does when I don't prompt that, because I don't think our average end user is also
and also for for a letter, I don't know that we need that, right?
Yes.
So
well, for me, like, and this is where you and I are always trying to figure out how to improve. So like the next time we were asked it, we could have just asked it for these specific things.
Yep.
Well, in this case, we're just going to let it explain it to us.
Yep. Great. All right.
And the other thing, just a reminder for folks, you can click this little button on thinking mode. And so you can see what it's trying to do.
Yep.
And then, okay, so it's giving us an output here. Significant strategic shift. You're moving from data prep to a content production tool. Here's a breakdown of how ours compares to the previous. Well, it's comparing it to the first one. So don't compare to the first one. Compare your output. And then I'm going to copy it.
Yeah, compare to this one. Yeah, good.
To the other.
So something that's really interesting is in other in Claude and in ChatGPT, you can move
it down really quick. I didn't realize how many people didn't know what Claude was. Claude is another version of ChatGPT, is another version of Gemini at its core.
Yep.
Just want to be
good.
Sorry, I wanted to say that because I get that question way more than I expect. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what I was going to say on that, no, you can move conversations between projects, and this is a big cheat code. So one of the things I've started doing is moving a conversation into a project where it's evaluating digital health scores for a client at large, like just in general, and then moving it back into its own context window. So I'm basically pulling it over, recontextualizing everything I've already had in the chat, but against a new set of instructions and files, and then moving it back into the original one, and then running a secondary prompt on that. Does that make sense? It's very cool. Right.
It's like hurts my brain a little bit in a good way.
It gets, this stuff gets really meta, which I think I like a lot. Okay. So we rewrote the bottom line, and everything we've been doing is we rewrote the prompt so that it does a final letter. So let's go try the final letter.
Well, it's given us two out. Like we have to choose between the two different enhanced prompts we want.
Pick the one that you like. We don't have to worry about that. Just like grab one.
I'm going to use the one we got from this context.
Okay, great.
And Megan asked, like, I loaded the shared gem, the end of urinator. Can you speak again to the purpose of this one?
I'm sorry, but we cannot say end of urinator.
Why?
Well, say it again.
That's funny. I'm going to make an icon for it, and it's going to be a cartoon person peeing.
Right. Yeah. Right.
This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah. It's very European.
Oh my God. Why is it worse when you say it? But when
I'm
I
just
say
saying,
it,
like, you know, you keep wanting to do these
that's
pun
so
battles
funny.
with me, but I just don't know. I don't know.
You're good at them on the fly, I will say.
Thank you.
Megan, what we'll do is we will update this to be more useful across organizations as well. So for right now, it's going to show things that are way more relevant to Impact Me Foundation. But the goal would be that you could essentially duplicate very similar to what we're producing here if you were to give your donation, like the headers of the information that you would have. And then what you can do is, especially if you're not in Gemini and you want to use this to help with your donor data, make sure you have a unique ID for each donor and then remove any other personally identifiable information. And then you can use this to churn new information for your donors. If you're already in Google and managing donor data in Google, you're already in that SOC 2 compliant infrastructure and your privacy already covered, like your policy already covers that. But if you're in a different CRM and you want to use this to help with that, you can just pull it down and, like I said, remove any of the personally identifiable information, otherwise referenced as PII, and then you can link them back up using their ID. That's one of the easiest ways to do it without worrying about, am I compromising any personally identifiable information?
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm dying to see this in action.
Me too. I was trying to find it. We got to get over here. Okay. Boom.
Wait, you copied 2. We want to just copy 1.
Oh, you're needy. Just kidding. Sorry. I copied 1.
Okay, good.
Jesus, here we go.
Lori, thanks so much for joining. I'm glad this has got ideas for you. We want to hear what those are. So drop them in later on. Tell us what your ideas are. We'll love this. Okay. All right.
Joining us so last minute.
All right. So now the goal of all this stuff is to be lazy and get great outputs. I just can't emphasize this enough. The whole goal is because humans are lazy thinkers, and that we should optimize around us doing lazy thinking and getting great outputs. That's only possible if you do really good thinking earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand why you're worried about that. This is okay. Sorry. Let me recontextualize that. What I'm saying here is not that we stop thinking, but we change where we think. So we want to, what we should be worried about is us being lazy at the front end of workflows. And what I'm watching society be worried about is us being lazy at the end of workflows, right? And what we should be thinking is we want to be sharp at the front end and think critically about that end, not at the outcome level. Does that make sense?
It does. I think I have like such a trigger on the word lazy too. Similar to a trigger on the word like, is this cheating? Because it's neither of those things. What we're doing is spending an inordinate amount of time on the forefront, like on the front end of the project. Right. And this is just sort of like reframing what you're saying, right? So my turn to mansplain. And what it's doing is it's making us understand what is the goal of this and how do we use the technology and the software at our disposal to make this the most genuine like approach we can do with the resources we have. And by doing all of that on the front end, I don't have to carry the mental load through every step and every iteration because I've spent the time in the beginning. And so it's less about lazy and more about like, I trust the work I did to pull this together. Now I'm just reviewing, confirming, and sending.
Yep.
That's it. Yep. And that's the piece that like, I think people see that as cheating. And I'm like, they don't see the work that you put in to make this. It's like a good automation. Like if you do it right, you get to set it and forget it. And we think of these as cheat codes. And I'm like, that's fine. But then everything we automate in our life is a cheat code. And I have no issue with that language so long as we don't give the negative connotation with it. Because I saw it in there. Look at my little Thanksgiving pies for my earrings.
Oh, that is fantastic.
It did
Okay,
give us
wait.
the letter.
Sorry,
Can I read it?
before we move on, not one. I have to say one thing. The other thing is that unless you roll it out that way, it's non-transferable, right? So if you're
Yeah.
working with a team and you can create a gem that does all of this, and all you have to show them how to do is this little bit, yes, that means that they don't have to do a bunch of other work because you can have one person create the automation and then everybody else can use it quickly, right? That I think that's an important way to think about this. Okay, how did it do on the output?
You should, sorry, I keep doing the same thing, but I should say one of the biggest disconnects we're seeing is it is fine if one person creates the beginning, but every step of the way should be considered in the creation of that beginning.
Yeah.
So like having your fundraisers at the table when you're thinking through how this flow works is really important, because having they're the ones signing it, they're the ones sending it, they're the ones having those conversations with your donors, your audience. So making sure that just because one person's building the background infrastructure does not mean they are the be all end all of making it. So, okay,
Yes. Okay.
letter. It gave us a phase 1 and a phase 2 output. Phase 1 was analysis, so it gave us some internal processing, which I actually really like. But this is where like my nerd.
But this is not what we asked for.
Not what we asked for. To be fair, we should have also looked at the updated prompt. We did not really look at that. Like we didn't read it to see does it say that for output. Phase 2 stewardship letter. This is the first AI that's gotten the date right, by the way. I've never seen that happen.
Yeah, dates are
Perplexity
really
is the only one that has like daily context update that consistently gets the date right.
Just
that's
so
actually
that's like, and that's yeah. The fact that LLMs aren't including that in I think the reason why is that you can't just say the date. You have to say date per where this person is, because date is actually functional time.
Ugh, that got philosophical real quick. No, thank you. Stewardship, so as if you were going to send it in an email or a letter or however, but empowering 5 leaders through tech and policy. I love that. If I were to send that as an email, I didn't even think about hyper-personalized like email subjects in this, like and making it anyway. On behalf of the entire Impact Me team, want to extend our deepest gratitude for your incredible generosity. By your recent gift of $500 to the AI for Nonprofits initiative has directly supported 5 participants in our core programs. By investing in these leaders, you are helping us build more human, equitable, and joyful systems for change. I wanted to share.
Okay, wait, before you read all of it, because like it's great.
You just want to?
No, I don't want to hear all of it. What I do want to know is I am not good at, I don't know anything about donor communications. Give me an X out of 10. Right?
Yep.
On just the letter. Just like, how close is this to hitting send?
8 out of 10.
Okay. Wait, so
I would want to read it.
At what number would you hit send? Is that at 7 or is that at 10?
10 out of 10.
Okay, until it's a 10 out of 10, you're not going to send it. Okay, great.
Well, right. Yeah, and that's not to say it's a 10 out of 10 letter, but like that's my gauge.
Exactly.
Like,
no, this is a 10 out of 10 ship, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes. And that's because I think they're like, and like I said, that's where I would have spent some more time at the beginning, really massaging this first, like your recent gift. First of all, her gift was in May, according to our data. So it's not really recent in November.
Yep. Right.
And so confirming some of that and that language of, it's not really your recent gift of X. Like, I don't think that's even necessary in a thank you communication, but we're also trying to get this done in an hour and a half. And so we knew there was going to be some compromises made there. That being said,
that is how every operations meeting is going to go though. You've like got them in the room, you've got a limited amount of time, and it's going to take this much time to get them all the way to this point. And I want to make a point with this, which is to say, you should not pull them in at the beginning. You should pull them in the middle. And the reason for that is because there's a bunch of stuff you can assume and you should. And then get them to the place where their input will be the most efficient, which is at about this level, like we hit go, and then they say, this is what I don't like. You're recording all of that, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. I like that. Because if you could do 4 iterations with them, you could really dial this in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I love this. This is really cool.
I will say before we'll sign off after this, my dream would have been to like also then figure out how we could produce like bespoke videos on scale, which I, to be fair, tried to do, and you can't really, not right now, not without other tools. But I did include then I cheated a little. I included I included a donor information spreadsheet. And then I said, what about creating it for all my donors?
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to see, like, now that I've got it, where is it doing it? So then it generated a few. And then what I love about what it did was operational next step. I have processed the first batch. Since there's multiple files with potentially overlapping data, would you like me to, one, generate the next batch, which right now is processing in 3. So to get through a few hundred donors, let alone thousands, would be miserable. 2, provide a Python script you can run locally to generate all of them at once into a certain file type, which can seem very overwhelming to people. But if it ever is offering you some sort of like, here is a way we could do this, generating all of them at once, if you ask it, can you talk me through it like I'm a 7-year-old step by step? And does it cost me anything extra? And if the answer to those are ones that you understand, try it.
Okay, I want to break this into roles just to help people know where they should be on that. If you're an executive director, you probably don't have time to do that. You've got it this far. Yeah. This is where you hand it to somebody else. If you're a director of fundraising, or you are
or stewardship or something.
Right? Yeah, exactly. If you're director level, you probably should not be doing this. If you are the person that is the coordinator, right? Then that is maybe a good role for you. In our language, this would be, if you're the guide, this is exactly what you should be doing. And if you are doing work with someone like us, that is the right kind of request to make. Go to the next meeting and say, here's the rollout, and then ask the question, is this a roadmap question or is this a request, question? In other words, and I'm saying it that way because Nate Jones just put out some of the most important work around AI adoption, which is that figuring out where to start these things is really important, and identifying that there is an agent operator, which is guidance for AI. And I think that it's really critical to start talking about roles, because the way you roll this out for yourself is really different than the way you would roll this out to a team. And we need to start thinking about what level on the team is going to do this actual work, right? Which we keep touching on, but I want to plant the flag right here around an AI guidance role that is critically important for adoption, right? Not governance,
I think
but
that's
guidance.
Really important. Yeah, I think that's really important to outline. And I also think we probably owe it to our users to try and spell that out in different org settings too, right? So any organization I've worked at, like 2 of the 3 higher ed foundations, there wasn't below a director role. And so, you know what I mean? Like, making sure people understand to not take it necessarily as literally, but that in that regard, the director role would have been also the practitioner.
Sure. Yep. Which is totally fine.
And would have acted as the guide in that scenario. So just getting us.
And it's where coaching can make a huge difference too.
Yes, absolutely.
Like that is where, okay, cool. I think this is really interesting. I think, Sami, I want to just back up and say, your work in creating the board of directors, the board of advisors, was a large umbrella amount of work with lots of mini steps in it that created a really powerful outcome. That is good for executive levels and entrepreneurs. What you've created here is good. And I think I want to say, I feel like this might be worth working out over a couple of weeks, the steps of this, because this would help every organization. And essentially what you're doing is you're saying, what we want to do is take your CRM, which is holding a bunch of, contact, address, email information. We want to run a generation against that. We want to generate a communication, put that back into either your CRM or your email so that you can send highly contextualized specific emails to people. And that's very doable with affordable tools and a small timeline. So if you said for next year, this is something we want to do, and you started that January 1, you could be there by April and iterating over the summer, so that for by next year end, the way that you communicate is fundamentally different. So I just think I feel like we touch on a lot of things here. This one I think is more specific, more universal, really important, would have a high impact for teams.
Absolutely. I think it'd be fun to explore over December some of that, like other unique ways to produce impact content, personalized and at scale.
Mhm.
And then like I see a mode in here on year-end receipts and what
Yep.
that looks like. And
Yes.
you know, there's so many pieces in that.
Right. Yep.
So I do think that's a really good approach for December. And I think that's something that people can expect. I will also say, since we're talking about it December,
Yeah.
I would really appreciate folks. There is one date that we will likely not be live, and that is Christmas Eve. I want folks to tell us like what you know, right? Like I'm willing to hop on and spend an hour if you want to.
Well,
but
we're a morning show, so we wouldn't be on for Christmas Eve anyway. Yeah, because Christmas Eve is evening, right? It's the eve before. So I don't know even what
that was bad. That was so bad. Nobody give him credit for that one. Not even a little bit. Jesus.
It's just, okay. It is actually weird to me to say we're not going to be on for the morning of Christmas Eve. Like that's a weird sentence anyway. Christmas Eve. Anyway, there we go. I'm done.
No,
I'm out.
Christmas Eve to me is
all right. We will be recording that.
We'll probably record that one in advance.
I also want everybody that's ever watched our show to know Sami is only ever showing us a tip of the iceberg on everything that she prepped, because there is a massive amount of all of these resources that are incredible, absolutely incredible every week. And the benefit on that, by the way, is the amount that you're producing that you understand. This is one of the fastest way to accelerate your own understanding and your own development. So it's really impressive. Thanks for doing all this work. Looks great.
Oh, it's so fun.
It's also really fun to show up and just see what you're up to. So
it is super fun. No, and if you guys have some things you want us to cover, like you got to let us know, because otherwise I'm really just driving the ship until somebody else asks us to steer a certain way. And so if things are particularly relevant, or don't feel selfish. If you feel like it's only relevant to you, that doesn't matter to me, doesn't matter to Tim. Like it's going to be relevant to somebody else. And as long as we're helping people, like that is the main goal of what we're doing here live. And so I love Megan and Karen always coming in live. I love having Lori come in. The only reason you guys haven't seen Megan in live, like pop into the show, is because she doesn't like to do that. Otherwise, she would have been on this show a long time ago. So don't think I'm playing favorites.
We need to get her on. Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
All right. Great work. Happy Thanksgiving.
So fun. Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope. Yeah. I mean, for those of you in the States, I guess.
Thanksgiving Eve for people in the US right now. So.
Yeah, it is. In fact, Thanksgiving Eve. You're the worst. All right. On that note, friends.
All right. Bye.